careful. At least three sets of eyes in the cockpit looking with you. One guy in the center and two pilots flying it. He ain't close enough for me to shoot him, but I can see him. Yeah, he's going to go to the IP. He's going to go downwind.
This is what being a jacket was.
That's cool. That's tomorrow. He's
Right.
He's going to be here for the day.
I think he's going to be here all the way through Saturday evening.
Sunday too.
Do you shoot raw when you're shooting, or no?
Yeah, it takes up a lot of space, a lot of storage.
Yeah, I've still got 340 more images of it if I wanted.
I don't shoot raw. It's a good thing to do, but this kind of stuff.
Is there an advantage or disadvantage? Yeah. Shut the two outside motors off. Oh yeah, getting over that fence is a blessing.
Seriously. So smooth.
Those are supercharged.
I read that they have a hybrid engine in this aircraft.
Big headache.
Channel? Did you say channel him?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Ooh, I can smell the gas. Oh. Excuse me.
Once you get up in the cockpit, on the left-hand side, you'll notice a navigator table. On the navigator table, at the lower right-hand side, you'll want to take note of it. It's signed by Dutch Van Kirk, who was the navigator on the Enola Gay. We were very fortunate to have him ride with us a couple years ago up in Oshkosh. We had B-29 in front, B-17, and B-29 for the end of the war, and he was with us. So it was kind of neat. That's cool. On the right-hand side of the plane is the World War II radio equipment that has all been fully restored and operational. And we have talked to people on the way up on this tour. And in the front of the plane, at the very front, is was a top secret Norden bomb sight. And we were very fortunate to have one of them that was dedicated, it was donated by Tennessee Ernie Ford. And he got it from a friend of his, who you might know, General Mack.
Oh, wow.
Kind of neat. So look around, and whenever you're ready, you know, it's, whoever wants to climb the ladder and go up, you're welcome to do it.
I take it that was the tube they crawled through?
Yes, this was the first pressurized bomber. And,
Oh, this was pressurized.
Yes.
Yeah, for high altitude.
So this is the crawl space?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, fly by wire shit.
Yep.
How many acres? How many?
Oh, yeah. There's 11.
11.
Each
Well, that wiring looks like it's on your dashboard over here. We gotta go up the ladder? Are we ready to go?
I think so. Jump on in here.
Is the tail gunner, is he laying on the building?
Tight squeeze.
There you go.
Ooh, it's hot up here.
We don't advertise the free sauna.
Wow.
Lose a couple of pounds if you stay an hour.
Oh, it's a lot warmer up here.
It is. It is. Nobody will catch a cold today.
Yeah.
Pilot, co-pilot, bombardier up front. I'm sitting in the flight engineer station. He's the busiest guy on the plane because he ran it and the pilot flew it. And there's that map table that Bob was talking about. The autograph on it. Very important
Hey
cylinder.
guys, I'm coming to you live from Meadows Field. Right here we have the B-29, and this is the iconic symbol of American power in World War II. And it was an amazing bomber. It carried 20,000 pounds of bombs, had 12 50 caliber machine guns, and a 20mm cannon. The design for it was originally submitted in 1939 out in the latter years of the war. And like all aircraft before, it was put into production for the war. And some of the new features it possessed in comparison to other bombers was it had guns that were fired by remote control and pressurized crew areas. And now we did have a few make emergency landings in the Soviet Union, and they kept them there, unfortunately, against our protests. And they did reverse engineer them, and they did reverse engineer them, and they created their own B-29 look-alike, and the TU-4. And I looked up the picture, and it really does look a lot like this aircraft. And there was over 3,000. There was almost 4,000 B-29s made total in the entire war, and its service was through World War II and part of the Korean War. They were primarily used in the Pacific. They were not used very often in the European front. The B-29 Superfortress was sometimes used in 1,000 plane raids over Japan, including on Tokyo, where they firebombed many cities. And a lot of you, I'm sure, do not know that the firebombing raids actually killed more people than the atomic bombs themselves. The B-29 is most famous for dropping the atomic bombs, the specific B-29 being the Enola Gay. And it did drop it on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The aircraft is 99 feet long, and it weighs 105,000 pounds. Its top speed was approximately 365 miles per hour, although it had a slower cruising speed. The ceiling was over 31,000 feet, and so it made it difficult for enemy fighters to get up to it, and if they could, it was also difficult for them to keep up with it. And there was not a whole lot of anti-aircraft weapons that could reach up that far, so it was fairly safe. But they found that the high-altitude bombing raids weren't quite as effective as they wanted it to be, so they did a lot of night bombing raids at low altitude with firebombing. That created mass casualties and was very effective, especially because a lot of the Japanese buildings were made of paper and wood, and so it just fed into that conflict action. Now, I'm really happy to have seen this B-29. It is the last flying B-29 in existence right now, and there's 4 different bombers I've always wanted to see, and I've seen 3 of them now. One is the B-25 Mitchell, the B-17 Flying Fortress, and and now the B-29 Super Fortress. And of course the last one, which I hope to be able to see one day, will be the B-24 Liberator. It's just a magnificent aircraft. It's just, you know, the things that the crew went through, and the amount of people that had to fly it. I mean, it had a crew of between 10 and 11 people per plane, and so when you're putting up a thousand plane rate, you have a lot of people in the air and a lot of people who might not come home. And of course, behind us we have a few other aircraft as well: P-51 Mustang, a T-6 Texan, and there's a couple others as well. And but yeah, this has definitely made my day. And if you guys ever get the chance to see an aircraft like this, don't hesitate. I mean, just go and do it. It's an amazing part of our history, and an iconic symbol of American power. And it's definitely not to be taken for granted, especially when this is the last flyable one. There's about 21 others, but they're all in museums, and not everybody can go to these museums. I mean, not everybody lives anywhere close to them. I know I don't. And it's just a privilege and an honor to be able to see this, to be able to experience. Coming live from Metals Field in Bakersfield, California. P-51, Man of War.
I've seen life through the eyes of a different soul. I left my past so my future would be under control. Now I got nothing standing in my way. I gave it all away. I gave it all away. I gave it all. You got me living how I wanted all along. Now all my tears are dried away. You got me living how I wanted all along. I feel so alive, alive, inside, inside. I'm breaking through the haze to a brand new day, 'cause my heart has been revived. How was I supposed to survive in this fast sea? I was so scared my own heart would try to abandon me. Now I got nothing standing in my way. I